The first bankrupt SUV is the Range Rover Evoque. Here's what happened with this vehicle in the Australian market. When it launched, luxury buyers were mesmerized. The design is genuinely stunning. The promise was British craftsmanship meeting modern technology. The reality? Catastrophic. Owners report transmission failures starting at 45,000 kilometers. One Sydney owner spent $12,000 replacing the transmission at 50,000 kilometers still under warranty, but requiring legal intervention to force the repair. The electrical system is notorious. Infotainment screens fail randomly, parking sensors malfunction. Door lock actuators get stuck. One Brisbane owner reported being locked inside the vehicle, while the climate control failed in 42-degree heat. Electrical diagnosis costs alone run $2,000, $3,000, because technicians need to replace entire modules to identify problems. The air suspension system, supposed to be the height of luxury technology, develops leaks. Repairs cost $8,000, $15,000 per corner. Depreciation is absolutely brutal. A 3-year-old Evoque loses 50% of its value. Warranty claims data shows the Evoque generates more complaints per vehicle than any other luxury SUV in Australia. Dealership networks are limited, meaning you're often traveling hours for service appointments. Next up is the Toyota Prius. See now, a lot of people think the Prius is expensive. It's not when you do the math. This car does 3.8 liters per 100 kilometers. Seriously, a person who drives 2,000 kilometers per month saves roughly $280 every single month compared to a conventional petrol car. In 5 years, that's over $16,800 saved. The technology is so proven that even Uber drivers in Australia made it their #1 choice for hybrid fleet vehicles. Maintenance costs are lower because the electric motor handles so much of the workload, meaning less brake wear and engine strain. Stick around because one hybrid on this list costs owners $8,000 per year just to keep running, and they bought it thinking it would save them money. Let's start with the winners. The first car that absolutely crushes the hybrid game is the Honda CR-V Hybrid. This thing is an absolute beast for family owners. Real-world fuel consumption sits at 5.2 liters per 100 kilometers in city driving. That's not a typo. Owners are reporting fuel costs dropping from $200 per week to just $85 per week over 1 year. That's $5,980 saved just on petrol. The electric motor seamlessly kicks in during city driving, meaning you're spending money only when you actually need the engine. Battery reliability is exceptional. We're talking 10-year warranties that almost never get tested because these batteries genuinely last. Resale value stays strong because buyers know Honda hybrids actually work. Second bankrupt SUV, the BMW X5 second generation, the engineering is brilliant. The driving dynamics are exceptional. But the cost of ownership becomes genuinely painful after year 3. The turbocharged engines develop carbon buildup, requiring $4,000 cleaning procedures. The transmission fluid needs replacing every 100,000 kilometers. Standard service costs $1,500. Suspension components wear rapidly. Front suspension struts need replacement around 80,000 kilometers. Parts cost $2,000. Labor adds another $1,200. The electronics are catastrophically expensive when they fail. One Melbourne owner's infotainment system malfunction required replacing the entire central computer module. $5,600 brake pad, whereas accelerated by the vehicle's weight and performance. Regular pads cost $800 per axle. Genuine BMW parts have no competition on pricing. A simple battery replacement costs $1,800. Insurance premiums run 40% higher than equivalent Japanese SUVs. Real owners report annual maintenance costs exceeding $6,000, $8,000 after the warranty period ends. Depreciation is severe for V-rolled X5 South, lose 60% of original value. The third devastating SUV is the Jeep Grand Cherokee. American engineering philosophy meets Australian road conditions, and it's a disaster. The 3.6 LV6 consumes oil at alarming rates. Owners report needing to top up oil every 2,000 kilometers between services. The transmission is electronically complicated, and programming failures cause the vehicle to fall into limp mode randomly. One Canberra owner was stranded on the Hume Highway when this happened. Repair required complete transmission reprogramming, $3,200. The electrical system is incredibly fragile. Power window motors fail consistently. One owner replaced the passenger window motor 4 times in 3 years. Each replacement, $600 parts plus labor. The suspension makes noise on rough roads, not just noise, but creaking that suggests structural movement. Diagnosis revealed bushings wearing prematurely, replacing the entire suspension bush kit, $4,000. Rust is a genuine problem, even in non-coastal areas. One Albury owner discovered rust on the undercarriage at just 3 years. Warranty claims become difficult because Jeep disputes whether rust is manufacturing or environmental. Real-world ownership data shows Grand Cherokee owners spending $5,000, $7,000 annually in unexpected repairs after year 3. Fourth bankrupt SUV, the Volkswagen Touareg. This vehicle promised Porsche-level engineering in an SUV package. It delivered Porsche-level repair costs instead. The air suspension system is the primary nightmare. When air springs failand, they consistently do around 80,000 to 100,000 kilometers. Kilometers replacement costs $6,000, $8,000 per corner. One Perth owner faced a $28,000 bill to replace all 4 corners. The turbocharged diesel engine requires specialized servicing. Regular dealers can't properly diagnose issues. You're forced to Volkswagen specialists who charge premium rates. Fuel injector problems are common, requiring $3,000 replacement procedures. The transmission is electronically managed and catastrophically expensive when it fails. Real owners report transmission replacements costing $15,000, $20,000. Electronics are absurdly complicated. A door handle malfunction required replacing the entire door module, $4,200. The vehicle's weight and complexity generate higher insurance premiums. Real-world fuel consumption exceeds manufacturer claims significantly. One owner reported spending $4,500 annually on diesel alone. Depreciation is devastating. 5-year-old Touaregs lose 65% of original value. Finally, the fifth and most devastating bankrupt SUV, the Porsche Cayenne. Yes, it's exceptional to drive. No, you cannot afford to own it in Australia. Maintenance costs are incomparable. The base service at 15,000 kilometers costs $1,800. Air suspension replacement, $12,000 per corner. Brake replacement, because the vehicle is so heavy, $3,000. Tire replacement for the 20-inch wheels, $2,400 per set. One Sydney owner reported spending $35,000 in maintenance over 4 years. Insurance is astronomical. Premiums often exceed $3,000 annually. Repairs must be performed at authorized Porsche dealers. Wait times stretch 2 weeks. One Brisbane owner needed to wait 6 weeks for a fuel injector service appointment. Depreciation is brutal, 60% value loss in 5 years. Electronic systems fail catastrophically. Infotainment replacement, $8,000. Climate control system failure, $6,500. Real owners describe the Cayenne ownership experience as incredibly expensive privilege that eventually becomes financially suffocating. These 5 SUVs share a common thread: premium pricing with premium repair costs that absolutely destroy ownership budgets. The Lexus RX Hybrid is next, and this is where luxury meets practicality. A $85,000 car that costs only $65 per week to fuel up in normal driving. Owners of the petrol version spend $140 per week over the car's life. That's $195,000 in fuel savings. But here's what makes it brilliant. The hybrid system is so smooth that owners forget they're in a hybrid at all. It's seamless. The electric motor integrates so perfectly that acceleration feels natural and responsive. Battery degradation after 7 years sits at just 2 to 3%, meaning the car still performs like new. Lexus dealers have hybrid specialists, so when something goes wrong, you're not guessing what's broken.